Hi, my name is Melissa Daniels and I have Strabismus, and every week I share a video giving you guys tips and tricks and ideas for dealing with strabismus. But this week's video is going to be a little bit different. I had an experience yesterday where I was dealing with a lot of anxiety in relation to my eyes and some things that happened in my past that really weren't that big of a deal, but apparently was bigger than I thought because 4 years later it's still affecting me. So I wanted to share the video that I recorded for Instagram just so that you could kind of see that real raw side and how I handled that situation. Because I think, one, you seeing that you're not alone and that other people are struggling with the same thing can be really beneficial. And two, it's just nice to have some ideas of how other people are handling the same struggles. So I'm gonna attach that video here. Sorry in advance for the sound quality, the video quality. It was definitely done sitting on my bed with my phone. Before we jump into that, I just want to remind you that if you want to meet with me over Zoom, you can do that at learn.strabismussolutions.com. You can sign up for a call. You can also get access to a lot of the different resources that I offer. So keep that in mind, and without further ado, here is that video. Hi. I wanted to share a quick little story that happened. So today I had the opportunity to go up and visit my in-laws, and as part of that, it's Sunday, so we decided to go to church with them, and that's not a big deal. I don't have a problem going up and visiting or anything like that, but today, and even starting last night, I was feeling a ton of anxiety, and it didn't make any sense. There's nothing to be nervous about, but there was just one experience that just kept sticking in my mind. And it was a few years ago at their church, and I had a baby at the time, and the baby was crying and hungry and needed to be taken out. So I took her out, and I was looking for the mother's room. So at the church, they have like a room where there's like rocking chairs. You can go feed your baby. And so I didn't know, it was a new church. I was unfamiliar. This is not today, right? This is like 4 years ago, I think. And so this is before my eye surgery, right? So my eye was clear out here, and I see another mom in the hallway with a child, and she's like maybe 5-10 feet away from me. So it's not like there were people between us. We were the only two people in the hallway. I looked at her and I said, "Hey, can you tell me where the mother's room is?" And she did the look over her shoulder and then like avoided eye contact, and she said nothing. And I said, okay, maybe she didn't hear me, even though we're the only two people here. I said it very loudly, right directly to her. And I said it again. I said, "Hey, can you tell me, do you know where the mother's room is? I need to feed my baby." And I kind of said it again, and again, she just kind of looked at me and then looked over her shoulder again and just like didn't say anything. And I tried to like start explaining it, like, "Oh, I know, like this eye doesn't look like it's looking at you, but I'm talking to you, like in the red dress." And she just still, like, it was just so awkward. I'm like, "Oh, never mind." And then I just kind of like walked away. And for those of you who don't have strabismus, you're probably like, okay, that doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal. And it's not, but it is. It just is kind of a little bit, it's very embarrassing. It's just like disheartening when you know you're trying to communicate with someone and they don't know you're trying to communicate with them. And you just feel like it's a very embarrassed, helpless, hopeless type feeling. And for some reason that day at that church, I was just having an off day already. And so it just really hit me, and I really struggled with that experience. So I hadn't thought about it in a really long time because I'm kind of past all that. I mean, honestly, like my eyes look pretty straight now. It's not really much of a problem for me anymore, but for some reason I thought of that story and I just was feeling all those same feelings today. And I'm like, "Melissa, this is not rational." Like, and I tried to talk myself out of it. I'm like, "Your eyes look straight, even though they're not perfectly straight. Nobody is going to notice your eye turn. And it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, like, this is so not important. Like, you are so much more than your eye turn, like all the things, right? I know that it doesn't matter. And I know that people don't care about my, like I know all the right answers, but it didn't matter. Like, my heart was racing. there was a little bit like, I don't know if I want to go. And like, oh, I was really nervous. And like, what if I run into her and that happens again? I'm like, it's not even possible for that to happen again. Like, it was just so irrational, but so real. And I want to share this because I think this is more common than maybe a lot of us think, where we realize we have maybe an irrational fear of talking to somebody new, or you've had your spouse tell you a million times they don't care about your eye turn, but you're still paranoid about it. Or your eyes look pretty straight, but you still are worried that someone's whatever. Like, these social situations can, and it brings up some irrational fears and thoughts that don't make sense. Like, there's two parts of my brain. One part of my brain's like, Melissa, this is ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. And the other part of my brain is like, danger, 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 danger. Like, we must help you survive. It's like, stop it. And I'm trying to like push that part of my brain away. Like, that's not important. That's ridiculous. But it doesn't matter. Like, it's still there. It's like the annoying little, what do they call it? The little monkey that's like, just won't leave you alone. So I wanted to share kind of how I handled it. Not that I like handled it perfectly or anything, but I still had a great day. It was nothing terrible happened, shockingly. No one made fun of my eye. No one noticed. Like, of course, like, as expected, nothing came of it. But I also didn't feel terrible. I still had anxiety. It didn't go away. I still am even like feeling a little heart racy tonight. And I don't know why, but sometimes my body just does this. I just have days, and I don't know if it's related to the strabismus and I'm like going into fight or flight mode or whatever. Like, there could be a million explanations, imbalances, chemical imbalances in my brain, whatever's going on. And so this morning when I realized what was going on and I was fighting between the two parts of my brain, I just decided, okay, this isn't rational that I'm feeling this way, but I am feeling this way. And so we're just going to go with it. And I just decided, okay, today we're going to feel anxiety. I'm going to get really good at noticing where I feel it. It's like, oh yeah, I feel it in my chest, and I feel like my heart's beating. It feels kind of fast and heavy. I feel kind of sluggish. It's like, okay, we're going to be going to church with my in-laws and playing games and all those things. Like, today, I'm just going to bring anxiety along for the ride. And I'm telling you that it wasn't that bad. Like, I was listening to this podcast the other day, and she was talking about how some people like choose to go on roller coasters that give you that feeling, that same feeling that's anxiety. They do it on purpose for fun. But like, when it's anxiety, it feels so dangerous, like something I have to avoid. And so I tried to think of that, and I thought, okay, that this is just a feeling, right? Like, you feel the feeling, allow it. Because before, and then it actually lessened. Like, it was still there and it would come back, like sitting there, and it like all of a sudden hit me like a wave. And I was like, oh, there it is again. And just kind of allow it. And then it would move back out. And man, it made such a difference, because before that moment, when I hadn't become like fully conscious of what was going on in my head, and I was still like, don't stop it. Don't be nervous. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, trying to talk my brain out of it. It just kept getting stronger and stronger and stronger. I didn't even want to get out of bed this morning, and I was just kind of a mess. And so it's like, it was layering it, right? Like, I was feeling the anxiety, plus I was like embarrassed that I was feeling anxiety. And then on top of being embarrassed that I was like, I don't even know what the feeling is, like that shame feeling of like, what is wrong with me? Like, am I really like this, not materialistic, but just like thinking about the way I look, and I'm worried about what people think about me. I'm like, that's so ridiculous. Like, I'm just judging myself. So it's like, not only am I feeling this like anxiety for who knows why, like this biological anxiety that I can't control, I'm like doing all this extra judgment on top of it that makes it feel 10 times worse. And so when I realized what was going on, was like, okay, whoa, slow down, Melissa. We're going to just like backtrack a million steps. We're going to allow the anxiety, recognize like it's here. This is part of the package with strabismus. Sometimes I have irrational thoughts and fears. Even though my eyes are not perfectly straight, but pretty straight, I still worry sometimes when I go in public. I don't know why. It's like, I just got so much practice at it. So anyways, I just thought I would share that so that, I don't know, maybe this is something that you struggle with. And just know that you're not alone and that there's nothing wrong with you. And sometimes our biology just kind of does weird stuff, and it's okay. It's okay to allow it, and it's okay to just not judge yourself, but just kind of let it come along for the ride and move through the experience. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you later. The experience that I had didn't seem too monumental, but I just kept feeling so strongly that I needed to share that experience with all of you, and that there was someone out there that was feeling like there was something wrong with them, or they weren't knowing how to handle the anxiety that was coming up. So here it is. And if you have any questions or comments or how you deal with things, go ahead and leave it in the comments, and we will see you in the next video.